IVM.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Paytm Money Upfront. We're still in lockdown and we're trying our best to make our releases work, but we are occasionally getting a little late or slipping on some episodes. Hope that you guys continue to remain patient with us. Check out our social media accounts. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're doing something over there called the IVM Smart Guide. A bunch of our hosts are talking about things to do during the lockdown, books, movies, podcasts, etc. Check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And let's get you onto your show right now.
Hey all, my name is Siddharth Deshmukh and I'm the traveling professor. And I teach various subjects like digital transformations, marketing, business and media, blah, 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 etc. This podcast is my diary of sorts. This is the traveling professor's diary where I share cheer, insights, anecdotes from my journey and experiences. This is what I have in store for you today. Today's diary entry of mine is about how brands are actually dealing with life in Corona times. And my view is, I don't think brands are doing an awfully good job. There are brands that are trying to become clever, and they're trying to be opportunistic. And that's all well and good. And I'm sure that some of them will succeed in making all of us who are bored and who are seeing their, advertising into admiring their cleverness. There is a difference between what the message is from the brand and what the residue is. Let me explain. In my class, I'd always do a small test, and that is that I say the word, or rather the sentence, I am honest, 5 to 10 times in different ways, like I am honest, or, honesty is the best policy, no truth but the whole truth, etc., etc., etc. You get the point. And then I ask my class, what have they thought about all the words that have come out of my mouth? And, people are polite at first, but over a period of time, one brave soul comes out and says, actually, what I'm getting is a sense that you're a liar. Now, that is the difference between developing a message and sending out a message and the residue that remains behind because of the context of the message, So there is a big, big difference here. And that difference is going to play itself out, especially in COVID-19 times. When brands are trying to build messages that are resulting in a different residue, a subconscious or even sometimes a conscious annoyance or irritation or hatred towards those brands, it's quite possible that brands might need to look at the way in which they're dealing with marketing in these turbulent times very differently. Don't do typical brand building activities for a start. Whatever your ad agency says, try to do something which actually connects to society and gives back in a manner that is appreciated long after this crisis hopefully blows over. Now, I know that some people might think this is Pollyanna-ish advice, but it isn't. I think in a world when the customer is getting very sophisticated, brands are beginning to anyways realize that their normal messaging is not working. Especially in a crisis-driven time like this, brands need to actually act rather than say much. If brands are connected to social causes and movements, they might end up creating the right kind of residue. And trust me, customers like me and everybody else will remember how brands behaved with them during these times. We will remember and we will repay you in, absolutely the same token or the same coin that you have treated us in these times. This is not a threat. This is an opportunity. And for this opportunity, I urge brands to think very, very differently. Stop marketing, but give value. Give value like never before. Well, if you like this diary entry of mine, I'm sure that there will be some more coming from this particular traveling professor. And you can always follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you like podcasts like mine, well, there are many such more on ivmpodcast.com, or you can always download the app. Stay safe, people. And until next time.
Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli,
Don Bradman, and now Cyrus Brocha. Okay, probably not in the right company. I mean, Don Bradman is Australian. But it's called Cyrus Says, a wonderful show about everything. Find the show on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.